hands super dry and parched from this quarantine season? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. How to keep your hands moisturized after washing them 20 seconds, 15 times a day. Let's go. Hey guys, what up? It's theidestiny. Welcome back. This is the LA lifestyle on a budget, giving you skincare and thrift wear and a little bit of entertainment industry tips and tricks. So if that's what you're into, hit the subscribe button below. So, as you guys know, it's quarantine time. All of us are on lockdown. All of us are washing our hands 20-30 times a day. So I thought it would be nice to jump on here and kind of give you guys a little tutorial on how to keep your hands nice and hydrated this season. One thing that I started to notice just in the past couple of weeks was a lot of drying in my knuckle area. They started to feel very, very rough. My hands started to look like they were maybe like 10 to 15 times older than I was. And I mean, for those of you that know, I mentioned this a lot on my channel, but you can always tell the age of a woman by her hands and by her neck and chest area. So even if you got all that Botox and stuff going on, somewhere on your body it's gonna show your age. So sorry if I'm whispering. I'm shooting this at night, so everybody's either in bed already asleep or on their way to sleep. So I want to try shooting at night. Let me know how you guys like it. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if the sound's okay. When I edit it and post, I'll kind of be able to tell a little bit more, but I know it's going to be slightly more quiet than my other videos. Anyways, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So my hands are very rough and crackly. It's kind of hard to tell, but I don't know if you guys can see this, but my hands look very, very dull. And then my knuckles here look very dry, and you know, you're starting to see a lot of those fine lines starting to come through. So we want to kind of combat that today. You know, in the webs kind of in between my fingers, they're looking a little chalky, a little ashy. So that's what we're going to work on today. So you need very, very few things. This is not going to be one of those expensive tutorials where I ask you to, you know, get a whole bunch of crap because you honestly don't need it, and you probably have most of the stuff at home. So first things first, I just have my little container here with just some water, just enough for me to kind of dunk my hands in and get them soaked kind of real good. So not boiling water, not cold, just kind of like somewhere in the middle, lukewarm if you will. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of ACV to this bucket, and you don't need a whole lot, just like maybe 1 tablespoon is fine. I think I maybe have like 1.5 cups of water in here, maybe not really more than that. So I'm just gonna put my hands in and let them soak for about 5 minutes or so. All right, so I'm gonna take my hands out. They're gonna smell a little bit like ACV. If you want, you can rinse them off. For me, I really don't mind the smell, so if that bothers you, go ahead and rinse. So you wanna just dry your hands off slightly, but they're still gonna feel kind of damp. So don't dry them completely. You want them to still kind of have some of that water moisture in there, if you guys can hear that. All right, next step is you're gonna go and grab, so for me, you don't have to use this. This is just me being bougie and extra. I'm gonna use my Hyaluronic Peptide Serum, and this is by Ebanel Skincare. So what happens is the apple cider vinegar kind of helps draw the water into your hands. You know, a lot of marinades and things that kind of help, not brine meat, but as a tenderizer. A lot of those kind of ingredients are very similar to apple cider vinegar, or a lot of them have some sort of white wine vinegar or something in there, but it just helps to draw the moisture into that particular meat. So we're pretty much kind of tenderizing our hands in a sort of way. So then let me go ahead with my hyaluronic serum. And hyaluronic acid just in general can hold, I think it's up to 100 times its weight in water. So I'm just adding that to my hands. Just a couple drops. And so that'll kind of help. Like, my hands already are starting to feel back to how they were pre-quarantine. And I mean, for me, I was already kind of like a paranoid person, washing my hands all the time anyways. I keep usually 2 hand sanitizers in my purse on deck, but those are more like moisturizing sanitizers. They're not the super drying ones. But I always have some sort of hand lotion or cream or something with me. But something about this quarantine season where I'm just like washing my hands with harsh, you know, soaps and stuff 24/7, where just like my hands have had enough. They're done. So this is already starting to kind of dry down and become tacky. You don't have to use hyaluronic serum if you don't want to. You could just kind of, like, maybe if you have like a balancing toner, not a drying toner, Don't use like witch hazel, don't use an alcohol-based toner, but if you just kind of have a really like maybe rose water or something, that would work great as well, and that's super budget friendly. You can just spritz a little bit on your hands and just kind of like pat it in lightly. Next, we're gonna go for a very light oil. So if you have jojoba oil, that's a great oil. That's kind of around the same, not necessarily texture, but like kind of molecular size as sebum, the natural oil that your skin produces. So if you have jojoba oil, or if you have like an argan oil, that's great as well. So I'm gonna just take a few drops of this. Don't use castor oil. It's not that deep. That is way too thick. So I'm just gonna rub that on my hands as well. So we're doing in layers. You know, we're going from light moisture, which is, you know, the water with the ACV in there, the serum. Now we're doing a very light oil that's very easy for your skin to be able to absorb, especially this top layer of skin that's more thin. And also I feel like with this, you know, your palms and kind of like underneath your fingers, when you go too heavy with some hand and foot cream, sometimes it kind of just sits on your skin, and then your skin kind of feels like it's suffocating. Like for people that use Vaseline all the time, I know they're trying to rebrand and do some stuff, but that stuff be suffocating the mess out of your skin. So you're gonna go very lightly, kind of massage it in. You don't have to massage it in all the way, because I want to make sure there's still some slip for our next step. So I'm gonna go ahead with my almond oil. So I'm just adding on another layer of oil. You don't have to do this. If you want to stop at the argan oil, jojoba, you're more than welcome to, but we're just being extra for the sake of extra because our hands are dry. So I'm getting my wrist as well, because I've noticed, you know, some patchiness, some dryness and roughness, kind of like, you know, along here, kind of along my wrist bones. So kind of rub that in a little bit, and you want to kind of get some warmth going to your hands. All right, then I'm going to take my lotion, and this is the Herbal Therapy Soothing Touch in Desert Sage. This is the body lotion. So you can use, you know, whatever lotion you have on hand. I would prefer you to use, you know, something that's more on the natural side, and I'm going to really glob it up. So you want to add more than what you would normally add to your hands if you were just putting on a little bit of hand lotion. All right, so my hands, as you guys can, I don't know if you guys can tell kind of on camera, I'm trying to see, but these oils are just sitting on my hands. They're not rubbed all the way in. And then you're going to go in with a pair of socks. Put them on your hands. So it's kind of like that same, it's kind of along the same lines as when you add on like, you know, really rich kind of foot lotion, and then you put on socks so that your feet are soft when you wake up. So that's what we're doing with our hands. So we have our oils, our hands are starting to feel nice and warm and cozy. And honestly, you can leave this on as long or as little as you like. So if you want to do like maybe 5 minutes, that's fine. If you want to do 10, 15 minutes, or for those of you that are like super gung-ho and you really want to see some banging results, you could try to go to sleep like this. Or, you know, for those of you that are maybe working in the medical field where you're washing your hands all the time, maybe you want to do this when you actually do get your, you know, 4 hours of sleep in between your double and triple shifts. And thank you for everything that you're doing. I appreciate you. You know, tons of us around the world really appreciate all the effort that you're giving. If you guys are a nurse, RN, whatever, thank you. But during your few hours of sleep that you get, if you want to just do this, that might be helpful as well. Okay, and after your designated amount of time has passed, then you're gonna just pop these off. And there we go. Nice and moisturized hands. They're glistening. It looks like they have some highlighter on, and they feel really nice. They feel really good. They don't feel like overly greasy. I didn't go overboard with my oils. I tried to make sure I used as light of oils as possible, but they just feel really good and happy and rejuvenated again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe and like this video if you want to see more. I'll be posting more as usual. Make sure to do well and be well, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.